We are live. I have not said that in a really long time. I'm hoping to get a thumbs up if the sound sounds okay, if everything sounds good. I'm really excited to be with you guys again. I haven't done a live and I haven't been in front of the camera in so long. I haven't done my makeup like this in so long. It's so crazy. But I'm really excited. Today is National Stress Awareness Day. And if you follow me, you saw that I posted about my cozy little nook. I brought a little bit of the outdoors in. And I thought it was the perfect backdrop for today's show. What I want to do and what I hope to do with this is, I want to give my mind something to look forward to, something to think about, something to talk about, something other than the coronavirus to think about. So my goal is to come on here every single evening and showcase a different small business, a different boss babe, a different service, whether it be local, whether it be somewhere else, but someone that could benefit from us talking about them, meeting them, promoting them, helping them, whether it's with the sale, with the like, with the follow, with the referral. So I want to kick this off today with you guys. And today's really special guest is going to be a friend of not only the show, she's actually someone that was featured on the show before. And she is very multi-talented. Her name is Miss Deborah Olson, and she is an author. She also has counseling service in the Galleria area, and she specializes in women's counseling and emotional support. So let me make sure she's on here so that we can bring her on. But again, this is going to initiate my, hopefully, little series that I want to bring with you guys, that's going to be pretty much showcasing small businesses. So let's see if she is on here, and excuse me if I get too close. Hi, Deborah. She's on. So I'm excited for you guys to see her, to talk to her, and let's bring her on. We are going to wait for her. She has been featured on Live with Lydia before, and it's so crazy how this came to be a full circle. Hi, Deborah.
Hi, Lydia. So good to see you.
So good to see you, too. This feels so nice to actually be able to be face-to-face, even if it's virtually.
I love it. I love it. It will take what we can get right
Absolutely.
now, right?
I'm somebody that is so touchy-feely.
Me too.
I yearn the contact. I love hugs. I'm a very emotional creature, so this has definitely affected me in the way of like, I want to touch people.
I hear you.
Yes.
It's really a tough time. We're wired for connection.
I know.
That's how our brains are wired. That's how we've been designed by our creator. So this is very unnatural for all of us to have to not hug and not be together, and just it feels foreign to us because it's not how we were made.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. But before you jumped on, I actually was telling everybody a little bit about you, of how we've come a full circle with how we met. We met through Danae, which was not only a great friend of mine, but she is the previous owner of the Salted Hippie. And now it's a full circle that I interviewed you in her store because she introduced us. I met you through a book signing you were having at her store. And now it's like, I'm the owner. We now have a space for my any future interviews and such. And you get to come back on and kind of just share with us another one of your talents. I know today is National Stress Awareness Day. And you have a background in counseling, and I know you have services near the Galleria. So I wanted to bring you on, but this time not so much as the author, Deborah, more of like Deborah, the professional woman. And hopefully you can help us, just give us some tips, some tricks, or even just some inspiring words so that we can help anybody else besides myself coping with anxiety and stress through COVID. And again, thank you so much for joining us. Everybody that's there, the phone is a little bit far away from me because of the lighting and all the setup. So I'll be trying to check your guys' comments on here. If your comments and questions are not being seen, please don't hesitate to send me a DM or contact Deborah. I'm sure she would be, happy to reach out to you and to help in any way. So do you want to get started, Deborah?
Yeah, that sounds great, Lydia.
Cheers, by the way.
I wish I had a glass, but cheers. My glass is not poured yet. Yes, you are saying what everybody else is also saying right now, in that we are struggling because we're stressed out. We're in very uncharted waters.
Absolutely.
We've never lived through anything like this before. So this is very foreign to us, and it's gone on now for a number of weeks. And so people are starting to feel the stress of this, and it's affecting how we live and how we feel. The anxieties through the roof.
Yep.
We're kind of distracted now. We're just not on top of our game all the time because of what's going on around us. And I've been writing actually a lot of articles about that topic and about how to deal with stress. I just wrote one today that went live on LinkedIn and on some other websites that I write for. Thrive Global is another one. Ariana Huffington's Thrive Global does a really nice job of putting blogs out there that are relevant to what's going on around us. And I've contributed 3 or 4 articles now to them. So
that's amazing.
I've been writing on this topic a lot. And basically what I've been telling people are just some kind of basic tips that they have helped me tremendously, because I'm feeling it too. I'm just a human like everybody else. And even though
I do remember you mentioned your husband is in the front lines too. So I can't even imagine the level of stress on another level that you feel.
Yes. So my husband's on the front lines in both of my daughters.
Oh my gosh.
And my husband's on the front lines, not in a physical way, but in a supportive role right now. He's doing administrative frontline things every day, all day. And my daughters are actually physically on the front line since they're both physicians. So we're a medical family, and we have nurses and physicians and people in our family that are in the medical field. So it's very real for us, and it's scary. But I think that we'll get through it if we can just remember some basic tips to take care of ourselves. And one of the things that I like to do is, for myself, this works really well, is use distraction. Find a hobby or something that you can really immerse yourself into. And right. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So if you can find that little hobby or that activity that you can take your mind, focus it on something else, and if it's a productive thing that you can also help others at the same time, that's even more beautiful. But I've been doing different hobbies around my house, things I don't normally get to because I'm working. So one of the things I picked back up last week, and I have to say I'm having a lot of fun, is scrapbooking.
Oh wow.
I'm a huge scrapbooker, and let me just show you a scrapbook that I did for my daughter years ago. This was my first big scrapbook. My daughter is in the Navy, or just got out of the Navy actually, but she went to the Naval Academy. And so for her years at the Naval Academy, I made this scrapbook.
Oh my gosh.
It was a labor of love that I loved every second of doing it. It was such a wonderful time in her life and our lives when she was there. And so I did a scrapbook for me, and then I did another one for her. And as you can see, it's a little bit thick. So it was a big ordeal to do this, but I had so much fun. And so I've done several more scrapbooks since then, but not on that level, not quite that thick, but I have done some other ones. And for me, it takes me away to another place when I'm scrapbooking, and I'm, looking at the pictures and creating the pages. So for me, that's my escape. And what I want to tell people is today more than ever, we need to have that escape. That for you, I know your work is a wonderful escape where you can do your show and your wonderful space that you've created there. I love it. It's very zen. And so we need that to really take care of ourselves, because when we do something like that, it takes our stress levels down, way down, and allows us to focus on another activity, takes us away from all of the kind of big stuff that's going on around us, because the news is full of new information every day.
It's
and
chaotic.
A lot of people, and it's hard. People are telling me that they're having to limit their exposure to the news. I think that's good. Limit your exposure to the news, and that way you don't get overwhelmed. But just finding a hobby, a leisure activity that brings you joy is one thing that's really good and easy to do. And then also just kind of finding a routine in the midst of the chaos. I know this is hard because moms and dads are homeschooling their kids right now. So, right, you are too. And in addition to working and then homeschooling, you're trying to keep your house going and cooking. It's a lot. And so, to the best that you can, keeping a routine going, just around your house with meals and everybody getting up and making their beds and doing your daily hygiene tasks. Finding that rhythm in this new world we're living in is really helpful. And I want to tell people, maybe even once in a while, I know I've been doing this a couple times a week, putting on the makeup, getting dressed in real clothes, not just the yoga pants and the sweatshirts, which I've been wearing every day.
I hadn't done that. I did a little campaign with Galveston County Boss Babes, and it's just different boutique owners in the Galveston County. The last time before that was March 7th, when I actually dressed up and did makeup. I went from March 7th to what was that, maybe a week ago, I'm talking nothing. Like, I would wake up with my morning pajamas and then change into my evening pajamas. No hair, no makeup or whatever. So I am agreeing with you. I got kind of in a funk. And after going to therapy all last year, I just kept telling myself, it's okay to have down days, but it's not okay to stay there. And I said, what can I do? How can I be of service and use my networking and I have a passion for bringing people together. So I was like, how can I do this? And I had been getting questions. Several people actually asked, when are you going to get back to filming? Are you going to let go of the filming just because you have the store? What's your plan? And I said, what better way than to force myself out? I forced myself to, brush my hair and do my makeup and wear real clothes. But at the same time, I feel like I can connect people in a way that we're still being safe. This is a beautiful way to connect, because I do miss that. And if other people out there feel the same way, I feel like we can connect via this, even if it's just for 30 minutes, an hour a day, joining each other for some conversation and with a glass of wine. I think that it's definitely absolutely true what you're saying. Even to the point, I agree as well with you said, you have to sometimes step away from the news and the media. I share this with my cousin. She lives in Mexico, and they started with the quarantine and everything. She was so severely stressed and scared that she actually got dermatitis on her skin, and she ended up breaking out in hives all over her body, like super, super painful, to the point that doctors said, you need to throw away that remote, do not turn on the TV, stop with the online stuff. And it's funny that she said that, because as we were talking on the phone, I had started, I don't know if you can see it, I had started to break out in the most weird places. I have dots here, and then behind my knees, it starts with this like warm sensation, and then you start scratching and scratching. And I noticed, or actually my husband noticed, I start getting my little itch when I'm watching the news or when I'm reading about, something going on. And he said, it's a good thing to stay informed, but it's not okay when it's consuming you. And the doctor actually told her, your levels of stress and the way your blood pressure was so high, you breaking out in hives, that's weakening your immune system. Staying informed is good, but don't become so obsessive to where you're literally hurting yourself. And your body shows, it shows out of your pores that you're stressed out. So as soon as I started with the itching and with the bumps and stuff, I said, okay, enough, Lydia. Like, you have the tools that this therapist taught
Mm-hmm.
you, and you now are on a different path, and you need to get up and do something. And
Yes.
it was really hard. It was really hard. And that's why I think I pushed the people. I've reached out to, I think right now I have enough shows for about a week and a half worth. And my goal is to showcase a different person each day until the quarantine is lifted. So
Mm-hmm.
I said, if I force myself to commit to a date and a time, I have to get
Mm-hmm.
up. I have to keep going, and I have to create some sort of routine for myself, even if it's only for
Yes.
1 to 2 hours a day. So
Yes.
that's beautiful.
Yes.
I agree
Absolutely.
with everything you just said.
Yes, absolutely. One of the ways that we can also really help our immune system, Lydia, is to absolutely stay in touch with our support systems and
Mm-hmm.
our girlfriends, our families, our family members. And through Zoom is one of the ways that a lot of people are doing it today. There's all different methods to do different kinds of conference chatting
Yeah.
like that, but Zoom is a really popular one right now. And I've done two of those with my local friends here in the Kima League City area that are in my wine club group.
Mm,
And we've done two Zoom chats the last 2 weeks, and it's been so therapeutic. We've had probably 22 people on each call. And just to see your friends' faces, and everybody gets a chance to go around and talk about what they're dealing with, what are their struggles, what do they have that maybe they want people to know about or pray for them. And we've done two Zoom chats with our wine buddies. We haven't seen each other, now for, I mean, weeks and weeks and
yeah.
weeks and weeks. This is so therapeutic. And just that sharing, what that does is it really boosts our immune system. That connection that we're doing there,
Mm-hmm.
it boosts our immune systems, and it really helps us with getting rid of stress. Our cortisol levels go down. That's what causes stress. And it helps us feel better. It helps us have higher brain chemicals circulating in our brain. So our dopamines and our brain chemicals start kind of pumping, and we start to feel like, oh wow, I feel happier. I feel,
Yeah.
on top of the world because I got to see my girlfriend. So I really encourage people right now, connect through FaceTime. If you can only do a phone call, then that's great too. But Zoom, FaceTiming, whatever your method is, really make a conscious effort
Yeah.
to reach out to people every day. Every day I've been trying to reach out to a girlfriend that I haven't heard from, maybe like in a year or more, and trying to connect with people. And I think that would be really good for everybody to be doing right now, because it is that connection that will get us through this.
Absolutely. I've had to do the same on FaceTime. My son is an only child, and my sister, my niece, is an only daughter. So she lives in Sealy, Texas. We live here. And it used to be where Sundays were kind of our family day. The kids don't understand why we, can't go out and about. We just keep telling them there's a lot of sick people. We want to stay home and be healthy. There's a lot of germs. We don't want, you don't want to, he's 5 and she's 3. You don't want to bombard them with too much of like the negative. So we just kind of
Mm-hmm.
keep it very simple. People are very sick. We don't want germs. We're staying home. And we've actually been doing play dates on FaceTime to where they have lunch together, that we put the phones kind of like face to face. So they're eating each in their house, staying in contact with that. And then we got creative, and we actually connected the phone to the TV so they could see each other bigger. And they had a dance party a couple days ago. And it was beautiful just to see like their bond is still there. Of course, they don't understand the why, but it was also very fun for them because we incorporated technology into their play date, and they just thought it was amazing that they were on TV. They couldn't understand the concept behind it, but technology has definitely been a beautiful tool for us. I can't imagine having to go
Yes.
through this pandemic without a cell phone or without the use of internet, which leads me to believe like the people that might not be as lucky as us to have technology, to have the internet, what are other ways you can maybe help someone that's maybe in the lower income bracket, someone that doesn't have access to internet, or someone that just basically doesn't have a computer or phone? What are other ways maybe we can help promote happiness, release of stress, or even just a more basic way of coping with the anxiety?
One of the things that I'm recommending that people do is go back to the old-fashioned way of connecting, which is writing a card or a letter to people. And we can do that safely right now, just writing a card or a letter, dropping it in the mail. And for people that don't have technology especially, that's an awesome thing. They get to open their mailbox and here is a handwritten note for them. And that is something that I have been actually doing for others, people that I don't see at all. And also I've been receiving them. And it's a wonderful thing right now to reach out in just the old-fashioned way of write a letter or find a little card. Maybe if you have a card, a box of cards in your house that are encouraging and supportive cards,
and send those
sending one of those off. Yeah, that's an amazing way. Plus it's the element of surprise because they're not going to be expecting. So to open your mailbox and see this card, like that in itself is like, that gives you a rush. Just like, oh my gosh.
It's not just another bill. It's something beautiful for you.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So that's a really helpful tool.
Plus,
that I would totally recommend.
I think everybody, because they are not as common, I think anybody would appreciate a handwritten note so much. I know when you stopped by the store, and unfortunately I wasn't there, and Leslie told me someone brought you flowers and they left you a note. The fact that you took the time to actually handwrite a message for me, and the beautiful card that you chose, I think that the flowers were beautiful, but to me, I felt like the note touched me so much more because it came from you, it came from your hand, it came from your thoughts. And to think that someone actually took 5-10 minutes of their day to specifically think of you and encourage you and write beautiful words for you, I think that is so touching for me. Like I said, I'm very emotional, I'm a very corny person, but I think even if you're not, it's beautiful to receive something like that, especially with the element of surprise, digging through your mailbox and there you are, a beautiful note.
Yes. Well, thank you. Thank you, Lydia. It's not corny at all. It's actually very sweet, and I'm wired the same way you are. I love getting handwritten cards and notes, and they really impact my soul. I really feel that this person has, said these words and taken the time to write this note, and it means so very much. So I'm wired the same way you are.
I love it. I do. I think that is a great idea for me to share to others. You don't have to use the technology. It has been amazing, but stuff like that where it's just a basic element of what we used to be and how we used to communicate, I think it's absolutely beautiful. What about for those people that are having to go through this quarantine by themselves, besides the handwritten notes, besides the snail mail? How do you think we can help them, or how can they help themselves? I, honest to God, cannot imagine having to go through this by myself. I have my husband and my son here. My father lives with me, and he's in the upper 60s, so we've been very protective about not leaving and stuff like that. But if I just even think about the possibility of having to sit in my home by myself, for me, who suffers from anxiety, it just makes my heart race. How can we help, or how can someone help themselves if they're having to sit through this quarantine by themselves?
That's a really good question. And again, I would go to the things that would divert your attention to get it off of being quarantined alone and feeling kind of isolated. I would keep yourself busy with hobbies, with reading. My own father is up in Dallas, and he's a good example of that. He's not a technology person, so he doesn't have the kind of phone that we can FaceTime. So I can't FaceTime with him. He does have a cell phone, but it's the old-fashioned, the flip phone. And so he doesn't have the technology for FaceTime. He doesn't use computers, so can't do anything with that. So what he's doing is he's quarantining by himself. He loves to read. He's an avid reader, and he just is reading every day, lots and lots of his books. He's a very made, I say, he likes anything that is likes lots of thrillers, those kinds of things. So he's got a pile of books, and he's going through and reading his pile of books. He watches a little bit of TV, and we call him on the phone. My siblings call her, drops and puts them on his front step, and then goes to the glass window like you're seeing people do on TV now a lot. And he knocks on the glass window of my dad's living room, and he just, you know, like, hey, how are you doing? And they kind of talk through the glass for a few minutes, that type of thing. But my dad's doing really well. He's just finding different ways to keep himself busy. He does a lot of crossword puzzles. So he's using a lot of crossword puzzles to occupy his time. He does a lot of solitaire and, you know, those types of things, brain teasers, anything to kind of stimulate his mind. And so just playing solitary games and those kinds of things is helpful. For another thing that a lot of people are doing that are quarantined alone, doing a lot of jigsaw puzzles. And I think jigsaw puzzles, if you have those in your home, are a great way to have an inner source right now. So a lot of people that have gotten out their stack of jigsaw puzzles and they sit at table and they're actually doing a lot of that. So anything that's like a game that will, again, keep your mind occupied, kind of get your mind on something else, kind of a little bit of an escape. Families are doing jigsaw puzzle. I know people that families doing the puzzle and they gather around the table and it's a family activity. So those are great ideas, I think, for people that are by themselves.
Yeah, I have definitely seen people do that, and I do love that. As much as this is, you know, not the most positive place to be in, I do love how.
Are we still on? I think I lost you. Are you still there?
I think we're having a delay.
Lydia?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
So I see your face, but then I hear your sound delayed. I'm waiting to hear what you said. I see your mouth moving, but the sound doesn't come till later.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, what I was saying was everybody has definitely come together, and I think it's beautiful because it's
okay. I thought there was a
in
little
a rough
something
way.
going on, and that explains it. Yeah, because I couldn't hear you either.
In a rough way, as hard as it is, I think it's teaching us kind of like the basics. We're back down to the basics of what is important, of what is needed, of what is essential. And just, I mean, something as simple as like a game night with family that some of us, you know, do that, you know, or try to be consistent when seeing their family. But I think that this has definitely brought us right back down to reality, right back down to earth. And I absolutely love to see on social media how people are coming together, how they're shopping for the elderly, how they're not forgetting about their mom and their dad and their grandparents. How you see neighbors coming together because there's like a widow man by himself and they don't want him to get, you know, potentially risk himself going out and doing the grocery shopping, or just even these cute little games they're doing on the sidewalks. I don't know if you've seen them where kids come out and they draw, they leave inspirational messages, and some of them are almost even doing kind of like workouts with it where they draw on the sidewalk, different things you can do as you're taking your walks, skip and do jumping jacks. And it's just, I think it's beautiful to be able to connect like that again. Somewhere in the midst of the technology, of the rush, of the everyday, of our busy schedules of working, I think we forgot or we let our guard down in the sense of how to connect and how to be united, no matter what binds us, whether it's, we live in the same neighborhood, we, are the same blood, or we grew up in the same place. Like, I love how connected everybody's become. And I really hope that after all this said and done, we don't forget that. I really hope we can learn from this and in some way connect again. And I pray that those bonds don't get disconnected again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a delay.
Yes, exactly. What's going on now to what happened after 9/11? This same feel was going on after 9/11. A lot of people connected and helped each other. We felt unity after 9/11. We felt this unity, the country. And the same thing is going on now. It's this unity, this connection, all in this together, to do our part so that we can stay healthy and look after others. And there are that come out every day that are beautiful stories about how people are using this crisis, this pandemic, that will help others make a difference, show smile. We're kind of getting back, like you said, Lydia, we're getting back to basics of love and relationships. And those are the things that are really important. When it's all said and done, is fluff, important, our lives and people, relationships.
Okay, so apparently technology is not on our side right now because we are having sound issues. But I do want to thank you so much, Deborah, for coming on, for spending this evening with us. Um, I do want to say again, are you still practicing at the Galleria?
But not right now, not at this current time, because of course everybody's, not leaving their home. So I'm home too. But yes, I still have my practice there. Yes, I do.
Okay, so if somebody wants to reach out to you, whether it's for the future, or I don't know if you're doing virtual, whether it's for your author capabilities, for your book, for book signings, or if they want to reach out to you for the counseling, what is a good way for them to reach out to you?
So there's two websites. The first website is gallery.com.
Okay.
They can email me off of that website for an appointment. So Gallery website, which is my new author. I'm doing coaching as well, life coaching. And if they want to have life coaching, or and if they want coaching and they want to know more about my book or speaking, that's on my brand new website, which is Deborah, my name, DEBORAH, my first name, -SON.com.
Okay. Awesome.
Either way, they can get in touch with me.
That's awesome. And by the way, congratulations, because the last time we did see you, I remember you said you won your first award for your book. So that is really amazing.
Thank you. Thank
Congratulations
you, Lydia.
on that.
Thank you so much.
That deserves a cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.
But
Thank you, Lydia.
You're so welcome.
Appreciate that very much. Thank you.
And thank you so much for joining us. I know we did have a little bit of technical difficulties. I'm going to leave this video up, and my goal is to put this on IGTV as well, so that if there's anybody else that wants to comment, that wishes to reach out to you or to me, anybody that just wants to vent or connect in any way that we can help, we'll leave it up and you can leave the comments below. Please share this with someone that you think would benefit from this conversation that we had. Remember to stay connected. Remember to be kind, especially during these times. And if there's anything that we can do independently or together for you, please don't hesitate to reach out. Deborah is a super helpful woman. She is someone that is definitely very enlightened with the way she speaks to you and the way she makes you feel. And I'm sure that if you reach out to her and there's something that she can do safely, you know, you can count on that. But thank you again, Deborah, for coming on with me today. Thank you,
Leah.
You're so welcome. Thank you for spending this time with us and for sharing your tips and your knowledge with us. And if you want to reach out to Deborah again, remember it's Deborah-Olson.com. And I know she has her counseling services. At the end of this, I will also leave all of her both websites and ways you can connect. And then, of course, you can connect with her on Instagram as well, at author Deborah Olson. So thank you again. Everybody enjoy the rest of your night. Don't forget to make a little time in each day to just think about you, to connect with yourself, to just sit and have a Zen moment. The best parents, the best mom, the best sister is always the happiest mom, the happiest sister, the happiest wife. So take care of yourself and each other, and hopefully we'll be seeing you guys soon. And for everybody else that watched, thank you for watching. This will become hopefully a nightly thing for me. Tomorrow we'll be showcasing a neighbor of mine in League City. Her name is Jessie, and she is the owner of Ivory Boutique. So stay tuned for that. We'll be having some wine, some drinks with her at 7. And again, Deborah, thank you so much. We'll be seeing you soon, hopefully.
My pleasure. Yes, my pleasure. Thank you, Lydia.
Bye. Bye-bye. Oh, and thank you to the Salted Hippie for the outfit, by the way. Bye.
Bye-bye.